They were sold a dream.
Come to class, don't miss it. Come get this good education.
I invested
65,000.
90K I invested with her.
But what they say this woman in Atlanta is really selling? A nightmare, tricking other black women into getting business credit cards to fix and flip homes with her.
We've given them everything that we have in our savings.
They say once you get your money, things get funny. One of the homes catching fire, money unaccounted for. What's really going on behind black girls in real estate?
I did not do anything wrong.
I'm Justin Carter. This is TSR Investigates.
Now, this should be pretty exciting because this is something that you see on social media all the time. You have influencers and people that are saying they're expert in certain fields, but this is the perfect video to watch because you guys need to understand that not everybody is a guru. Not everybody is out there to help you. Because think about it this way. If someone has a system that's creating so much money, so much wealth, they're not going to waste their time trying to teach other people how to do it. If you're making millions doing your hustle, you're not going to be going out of your way to figure out how to make more money by selling courses. They're actually making money from selling courses. Now, don't get me wrong. There are some good courses out there, but, you got to be careful and do your due diligence. But let's see where this goes.
Now, one person reaching out to us is one thing, but when several women came forward claiming they were duped out of hundreds of thousands of dollars from someone in Atlanta, we started asking questions. What was the promise?
So she would teach you how to get the funding. She had a team that could help us, the contractors, lenders, the credit people.
This is how they say Janine Searcy, CEO of Black Girls in Real Estate, lures people in on social media, private one-on-one coaching courses to teach black women how to invest in real estate, flipping homes and turning them into a decent profit. Tara, a real estate agent based in New Jersey, she says she was all in.
I felt like, this would be a place for me to start. Realtors always need a second hustle.
How much did you spend?
So for the class, it was 25,000.
Damn, 25 G's, 25 stacks. I mean, this is crazy. No one should be paying $25,000 unless you have the means and you're all good with your money and all that stuff. But clearly she doesn't. She's trying to find a way to make money. I would never invest $25,000 in anything, unless it's like I'm going to a second level. I've invested 5,000, everything's all good. Now I'm trying to go to the next level. But 25,000 racks off the start, girl.
$25,000 for 8 virtual sessions.
$25,000.
I know it was. Now that I think about it, I'm like, I could have went to school for $25,000.
Damn right.
She went through with it anyway, and that's when she says the red flag started immediately.
The first class, she canceled and had to reschedule. So it was more of, hey girl, I can't make it today. I got to go get my hair done type of situation. And that should have been a red flag for me immediately. But, I was just like, let me just get the information and keep going.
She says a big part of the class was about funding. Searcy guiding you to build your own LLC and get the loan process going.
She connects us with this group called Fund and Grow, and they get us business credit. So they apply. You don't even see the applications.
Red flag. Are you freaking kidding me? Someone is going to use your information to apply for a loan, and you have no idea what's been added to the application, and you're responsible for the loan terms and the loan. It's mind-blowing. First off, you're paying $25,000 for a course that is just 8 sessions, you sitting down talking to somebody that doesn't even show up on the first call. But that's besides the point. Then they have this system where as soon as they get people, they funnel you into this whole team that they have to be able to create the business credit and all that, because they need you, which is your credit profile, to get the business credit so they can go ahead and do whatever they want with that money. But that is a red flag. Are you kidding me? Someone is applying for a loan on your behalf and you don't even have a clue what's in that loan or what the terms are or how. That's just crazy. It reminds me of the PPP loans, because what was going on is everybody knew that there are loans out there that people are getting approved for. And there were people that created a team of, if you come to us, we have everything in place to be able to get you a loan. And as a result of that, they get a fee. This sounds exactly like it. And it's not because somebody has a team that it means that they're really good at what they're doing. You have to look at the fine prints. You have to be involved in the process. You can't let someone apply for you and you have no idea what's in the damn thing.
You just see the cards coming in. So we ended up getting, between me and my husband, $120,000 in business credit.
Exactly. For the small-minded person, they're going to be excited because they're going to be like, you know what? I didn't have all this money and I got a credit card for 120,000 credit. Let me explain to you this. It's not free money. You got to pay back. And as a matter of fact, they have all your information. They applied for the loan and you don't even know how many loans they applied. Maybe they applied for 4 loans and they only gave you 3 credit cards, and they have a fourth credit card somewhere that you don't even know about. And you're not gonna know until much later when it goes through collections and all that stuff. So no, if someone is gonna apply on my behalf, I'm gonna be the one signing the dotted line. I'm gonna be the one watching everything, and the credit cards will be coming to me, and then I can sit down with them and coordinate what's the game plan. But again, business credit is not free money.
Decided to get started flipping homes in New Jersey, she was told there were no profitable homes to flip in her area.
She comes to me, she says, listen, I know you can't find a project. I have a personal deal that's going on. Do you want to join? I don't really do this. But I know that you really want to do this.
It was a $1.2 million build here on Claremont Terrace in Atlanta.
You're in New Jersey. Did you want to invest in properties in Atlanta, or that was just what was offered to you?
That was what was offered. Of course, I would love to invest more where I was, but what I've sent her, she just was like, that's not worth it. The profits is too close, it's too tight, it's not worth it.
She agrees to go in on the project, $90,000. Circe and her business partner, Tyler Williams, they put up $1.1 million through their own individual LLCs.
I wired transferred from all those credit cards to multiple different accounts. That should have been another red flag.
She says that 2 other women whom she never met, they were also stakeholders on the project.
I went down there and I went to go visit the site without her. It was nothing done. It looked like it wasn't even touched.
That was in March 2024. In their contract, the property was to be renovated and sold within about 6 months. They
From the get-go, this whole thing was all messed up. Number one, you are paying $25,000 for a course. I'm sorry, that is just absurd. Unless you've built relationship with that person, unless you've seen other people that you know that have succeeded through that program, I wouldn't even go through that. And also, it's like, what was the $25,000 for? Because I'm getting confused now. Because you paid the $25,000, and I'm guessing it's to kind of give you the general understanding of what her business structure is, which is you get business funding, then you go into flipping and all that. That's really what you paid for. I thought $25,000 would allow you to work with her directly to get a deal done and get it done on the spot with a specific deal being identified. Not necessarily that, we're going to pay you 25K and then after that we're going to wait till we see if we can find any deals. Like, I'm still stuck on that 25,000. So my question is, would you pay $25,000 for a course? And this is your very first time you're paying for a course, and you don't have the money. You actually go in debt using credit cards to pay for that. And then once you get the business loan, you're not even on the loan. You have no idea what was done in the loans. You get the credit cards and then you cash out all the money from the credit card and wire her the money. Like, oh my God, you're paying her to dupe you.
guaranteed Tara a 200% return too.
Damn, I'm sorry, but you can't be that dumb. Like, seriously, you cannot be that dumb. You're going to meet someone and they're going to tell you that you're going to get a 200% return. No one can guarantee anything. Let me be honest. There's risk everywhere. There's a possibility that, yes, they can build it after 6 months, they sell it, but there's no guarantee that after 6 months they're going to be able to sell it at a significant profit. So doing a guarantee of 200% doesn't that I think what let me explain to you the difference between how I would invest versus how this person invests. This lady already messed up herself from the very beginning, right? Because what I would do is this, okay, I have 90K. You're telling me that I should invest in your project. The first thing that I want to see is how much money are you putting into the project, which here they're saying 1.1 million. And then they're asking her to put 90K. Then my question would be, what are my expected returns? Okay, we promise you 200% return, right? Great. What I want you to do is I want you to put in the terms that the expected return that I should be getting is 200% return. However, if we're not able to get this 200, you guys are going to deduct it from your part of your equity to pay me for going into this deal in the first place with you. Now, because they are the expert, they should be able to be confident in the project that they're doing, and they're gonna be like, we're so confident that yes, we'll take that risk. So now you're taking that risk away from you and putting it on them. And worst comes to worst, if the project does not perform, you're getting the money from their equity. And here's the thing: if they're building a property and it's worth, 150, like 1,050,000 to build that, and they're planning to sell it for 1.5 million. If they're not able to sell it for 1.5, they end up selling it for 1,100,000, which is just $50,000 profit. It doesn't matter because they have the original equity in there. So even if it doesn't perform, you're still covered because there's cushion because of the equity that they had. So I think that, there's always going to be risk everywhere, but there's ways that you can position yourself where you can minimize the risk that you're putting yourself, or you can share the risk with someone else. And right now, this is crazy. Guaranteed return is not always true.
Her $90,000 original investment plus a $90,000 profit when it was sold.
She was like, oh, we had some issues with structural. We signed in March. This was June. So we were like, you didn't even tell us like what the situation. She was like, it's not a big deal, but it's an additional $20,000 or something that they had to pay.
She paid for the back door, about $7,000, but that's all she could do.
We're out of money. We are totally out of money.
By this point, over a year goes by. It's May 2025.
Look at this
She
mess.
wanted out of the deal altogether, but she says Circe refused and has yet to pay her back. And remember, she did take out a business credit line for this. Hey roommates, before we go any further, do us a big one. If you love some TSR Investigates, make sure you go ahead and like this video and subscribe.
This is crazy, man. I'm going to tell you, this is crazy. So she got all these loans in her name and she got to pay for it.
These monthly payments?
I'm close to about $6,000 a month. It's more than my house bills. We've given them everything that we have in our savings.
So here's the thing. Remember at the beginning of the video, she started saying, we got 92,000 or 120,000 in credit card business funding. She sounded so excited. Or she doesn't seem so excited now, right? Which is crazy. It's not free money. You have to pay back. And the funny thing is, you're allowing somebody to take debt on your behalf and controlling what to do with that money. And then if it doesn't work out, you're stuck with the responsibility of paying it back. She's not. So it's like, if you're going to do that, you should be in total control of how the money is being used. And the first thing is this: if someone was telling me you want me to partner up with you on a project, the first thing I want to see is I want to see the project, and then I want to see how much of your money is in the project. I want to see what's anticipated timeline, which is the 6 months. Then when you're telling me you want my 90K, I'm going to be like, what is the 90K for? Like, is it for putting sheetrock? Okay, sheetrock, you're going to spend 20K, 25K to get that done. All right, I'll wire you 25K and all that stuff. That's it. And also, she's not living in Atlanta, so it's a lot easier for her to get duped because she's not on site. But here's what I was going to do. Part of that 90K, I would have anticipated a portion of it for insurance purposes, meaning I would actually take $1,000 from that 90K and say, you know what, instead of me giving you 90K, I will give you 89,000. And that extra thousand is going to be for her to fly to Atlanta once a month for the next 2-3 months, if that makes sense. So the ticket could be $300 or whatever she's flying from, and she's gonna get to see what's going on. So if she's coming to her saying, "Hey, pay the $25,000 for the sheetrock and everything," don't give her the entire 90. Give her the 25,000 for the sheetrock, and then fly to Atlanta after a week, a month, whatever long it takes to do the sheetrock to confirm that's done. Once that's done, and she wants another, 20,000 to do the flooring, go ahead and give her the 20,000 and then go check out the flooring, because now you're basically controlling the workflow that's happening, and you're confirming is being done. And that's what the banks are doing. But instead, you're giving this lady that collected 25K from you originally, like you're her bank account. That's just what it is. You're a pretty bank account for her. And yeah.
She is not alone. It happened to Makisha McClinton in Georgia.
We won't get our money back.
And
Of course, she's got plenty of bank accounts.
Charlotte Wolcott in Tennessee.
She's really good with kind of talking a good game once she gets the investment or the money.
This was to be $1 million homes we're talking about.
It was set to sell for $1 million and something.
Wolcott wiring $65,000 to go in on this $870,000 flip property in Atlanta's prominent Buckhead neighborhood.
Per the contract, if it sells, then my return on that investment would have been a return of $100,000.
But the dream, it was short-lived.
This is the house. Look at this.
October 2024, months into the flip, it burned down.
I don't want to go all the way up in this thing.
This was done on purpose, right?
I mean, you could see
it was done 100% on purpose.
Completely, I cannot believe this.
And of course
When the
that
house did
happened.
burn down.
Of course that happened after she collected the investors' money, right?
Was it a mysterious fire? Did you feel like there was something going on with it?
She says on her own Facebook, her live on Facebook on that day, it burned for 6 hours and nobody saw it. But you can see in the video that she's doing, there's a house right next door.
We did get a hold of the fire incident report. Fire investigators, they were called to the scene, but the cause, it was listed as undetermined.
Imagine being able to build an app with...
That is just crazy. I don't even understand how people do this. So clearly this lady, the investor that we just saw right now, was investing and she's not even on site. Why are you doing that? It's not like if you're a professional investor and you have processes in place to mitigate your risk when you invest out of state, then I get it. But if you're a rookie and all you're doing is getting funding for someone who's doing her thing miles and miles away, you're in for it's a bad recipe. It's a recipe for disaster, and that's exactly what happened. First off, that fire was done on purpose. Let me explain. If this lady is collecting money from all these different investors, she's gonna come up with, the whole place, just burnt down, so I'm not able to do the flip, complete the flip or whatever. It's gonna take time. She's really just buying herself time. Because what's going to happen is, oh, can you give us your money back or whatnot? Oh, yeah, I've already invested some of it towards, doing the project. So it's tied up. And I can't pay you anything until I get the money back from the insurance claim, because there's insurance on the property for sure, right? So the insurance company is going to come back and it's going to be like, the value of the property is based on this, so we're going to give you a check for this property. And that's exactly what she got. She got the check, and I'm pretty sure she didn't give them a damn thing. And the problem is, what are you going to do? It's a civil matter.
And says it wasn't adding up.
And they sold the property in May, and they didn't even tell us they sold the land for $800,000. And they had got a check, so we asked for documentation. They said they didn't get all the check from the insurance. I said, well, can you send me over the document as to why they didn't send over?
Oh my God, this was so played out so well. So check this out. The property is in Buckhead, which is one of the best areas in Atlanta. And it costs money to destroy a property because they want to do a flip. So basically, it's a tear down, right? So what's gonna happen is if you have an existing property, you're gonna have to pay for people to come and tear it down so that you can build another one, right? So from what it sounds like, she collected money from all these investors. Then the fire happened. She got the check money from the insurance company. So she got compensated for that property. So if the property was 800,000 and she was saying we need 200,000 to fix this property, she gets the 200,000 from these people. The property burns down, and then the insurance gives her back the 800 because the property was insured. She collects the 200 and just keeps it for herself. And then she goes around and sells the property, which is just the land. So for a developer or a builder, he's just gonna be like, it's a great piece of property because it's in a great neighborhood and we can definitely do a build up from the ground up. So she's just creating avenues to just get money from different people. And if you see her on Instagram, she's going to probably be showcasing that she's doing well. She's, flipping homes and all that stuff or whatever, because that's what she's doing. She's going in all these different places. But the difference is she's using investors' money to create her own projects. That's what it sounds like. Because one, she got 90,000 from that other lady. She got 65,000 from this lady. She got more money from those other ladies. And in every instance, none of them are getting their money back. But I guarantee you, she's got one or two flips that she's doing for herself that she's cashing in and moving on with that, where you're not involved in that. So damn, this is crazy. Don't invest in people that are out of town. That's number one. And people you don't trust or people that don't have a record.
Over the full amount for the burn down. We never received it. We never received the document for the purchase of the home or the sale or the insurance check.
Instead, she says they took their investment money and funneled it into another flip project miles away.
So here's the thing. Why are you paying? I don't get it. You got the 90,000, you're giving it to her. You're getting your 65,000, you're giving it to her. You don't need to be giving somebody all the money all at once. You could pay it bit by bit. It's crazy. And again, just like I thought, she's taking the money to go build her own stuff. And I bet you that the stuff that she's doing, she's using it to lure other people to invest in her project. And then she scams them down the line. Crazy.
Project they knew nothing about.
If we're willing to take the loss, let us take it. They will not tell us the loss. They will not give us any of the money back, even from the nothing. They just kept it and kept on going and start basically ignoring us and stopped responding.
Ashley Wilson from South Carolina says they stopped responding to her too when she pumped the brakes on her $61,000 investment in Chicago back in 2023.
Once we got into the project and closed on it, mysteriously, we didn't have a contractor. Janine did not help with trying to find someone.
When they did find a general contractor, the construction costs were $60,000 more than expected.
Oh my God, this is so funny. So she's selling her course, collecting $25,000 from people saying, I'll show you how to invest, how to flip homes and be that black girl in real estate. And she basically collects the $25,000 with the promise that I'll help you, be a black girl in real estate, buy a property. And anybody can buy property. It's easy because you can overpay for a property. It's easy. There are property for sales all over the place. And she will pretend like she knows what the numbers are to fix this property, but clearly she did not. And she basically, it's so funny because she doesn't have any skin in the game. The only time she has a skin in the game is in properties that are close to her with other investors' money that she funnels from other projects, makes up a story why the project is not working, uses all the money from the investors to go do her deal, and then pay for the rehab and then show it on Instagram showing that she's a black girl in real estate doing so good. But she's a black girl in real estate stealing investors' money. That's just what it is. That's sad. And she gonna get cut too.
Came to a point where they asked for additional funds from me. The first time I did provide some additional funds, which is almost $4,000. It was paid directly to the GC to keep the project moving. But then the second time when they came, no, I'm exhausted all my funds. I'm not adding any more. We need to reevaluate.
She says Circe was not happy.
Contract clearly says all I had to provide was the 61,000. I fulfilled my side of it. So she hires an attorney to try to mediate between us to figure out how we could get to a settlement.
The fix, they wanted to bring 2 more people on the project to help with funding.
The other piece of that settlement would include an NDA. And then she's saying that I couldn't sue her for the coaching fees, which was 25,000.
Oh my God. Yeah, she's smart. She's basically collecting 25,000 left and right under the promise of certain things happening, which are not. And when they're not, and people are willing to put their foot down and try to fight back, she wants to make sure there is a clause where you can't sue her back for the money that you paid originally. And quite frankly, it's like 25,000 a piece, 10 people, that's $250,000. That's crazy. So pretty much her courses and her hustle and all the lives that she's doing is funding the project that she's doing for herself. Sad.
So I declined. Fast forward, they moved forward with doing the renovation. It closed on October 24th of this year.
$150,000 below what it was projected to sell for.
Of
Wilson
course.
says she's still waiting to get her initial investment back. She says terms of their contract were simply not met.
A lot of times people hear the financial losses, but they don't get to see the emotional and mental trauma. PTSD is greater than me. And I want to be able to really, truly be that advocate for people who may not be able to speak up or feel like they can't speak up because of it.
Now, a Facebook page was created where dozens of women came forward sharing similar stories, many of them banding together and getting an attorney to take legal action against Circe and her affiliates. Now, we did reach out to Circe and her representative.
She refused?
Us they would provide a statement, but we did not receive it before publication. Here's what Circe said, though, in a since deleted Facebook Live video addressing some of their concerns.
There's got to be somebody to blame. I feel like I'm being blamed right now. Their money is being held in an investment. They don't want it to be held in investment. They want their money back today. So now it's like a shakedown, right? Like we're going to blast you. We're going to, put you out. I have a lawyer as well. I have all my paperwork. I did not do anything wrong. The project is in construction right now, and that's just what it is. So I will do my best to continue to push this project forward, again, with integrity. I could absolutely, be a better communicator in certain things, but I cannot control the market. I cannot control a house burning down. God, I wish that house hadn't burned down, because we would have been finished by now and it would have been absolutely gorgeous. This is my real life. This is what I do. So while you're...
Yeah, this is what you do. You collect $25,000 a piece from different people and you make a good living off of that. And when you do your investment joint ventures with people, you make sure that you're not at risk. You make sure that you can't get sued. You make sure that worst comes to worst, the main money that's going to be tied to the property, whether there's a profit or the loss, is going to be the investor's money, not your money. So here's the thing, the problem is she's been doing it for a while, so she already knows what to expect, which is I could probably get sued. So therefore, I need to make sure there's a legal contract. So she's already got lawyers to help her draft a contract. And honestly speaking, if you have a contract and you're both signing this contract, you're going to have to stick to the term. And I'm sure that she's verbalizing the contract in such a way that she's good. Like she mentioned earlier, that she cannot be sued or whatever for the $25,000 coaching fee and stuff like that. She knows what she's doing, right? And now she's talking about she cannot predict the market, but you can predict a 200% return. Like, no, you can't predict that. You could say we're hoping for an expected amount, which is, should everything happen, this is what it is. But frankly speaking, the best way to write a contract would be, so this is what's going to happen. We're projecting this in profit, and here's the profit split. That's it. It's not based on, oh, I'm gonna get 90,000, whatever, 200% return. It's based on a split because you don't know what that profit is gonna be. And then also you start outlining what's gonna happen if things are not met. If you have a 6 month projection, but it turns out to be a year, you're gonna incur interest fees, right? And now, if you're the one that got this money on a loan, on a business loan that you're paying $6,000 a month, you're the one that's paying an additional $6,000 a month for an additional 6 months because she failed to deliver within 6 months. So I think that, to be honest, lesson learned for everybody else and for all the real black baddies that are going into real estate. If you want to get into this whole space, especially if you want to do a joint venture with somebody like that, the first thing you want to do is you want to do your research. You want to make sure that you know who you're working with. That's number one. There's going to be other people who are going to be complaining if they had a bad experience. So that's number one. Number two, you want to make sure that you have your I's dotted and your T crossed. So make sure that you have an attorney instead of, $90,000 you just lost. You could have had a real estate attorney review the contract to see if it's in your best interest the way it's drafted, and that could have cost you just a few $100, like, I don't know, maybe $1,000 or whatever. But it's better to risk $1,000 which you spent to confirm that the remaining 89,000 is not at risk of somebody like her taking advantage of you. So I think the other women that we've seen in the video need to and again, it's not their fault, but they need to be more cautious going forward.
Screaming and yelling, I'm over here working the business, finding the solutions, to push projects faster, doing the things that we need to do to make it happen. And that's just what it is.
Now, I was told she and her attorneys are taking legal action, and they do plan to file defamation lawsuits against those women making these claims against her.
Of course she's going to do that because these women are affecting the $25,000 that she could be making going forward. So it's like, it's crazy.
Or when that happens, it's still unclear. For TSR Investigates, I'm Justin Carter.
That was an interesting sign off. But that being said, hope you guys enjoy the show. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. This is going to be posted on YouTube, on my YouTube channel. So make sure you double check that. John Nwofor, Real Talk. That being said, see you guys in the next episode.